It's new, it's modern, it's spacious. It's Arizia Villa in Alfred Crescent, Bonaccord Development. I'm Davia Chambers and welcome to another edition of Let's Talk Tobago. In this edition, we have lots of stories about the events that took place in Tobago over the past week. So we're going to head inside so you can see what this villa looks like and of course share our lineup of stories with you. There's a new activity to partake in Tobago as a skating rink has been opened. You'll meet CARICOM Youth Ambassador Luke James Trim. And have you ever heard about a floating wheelchair? Well, we have the scoop on that in this week's Let's Talk Tobago. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Bonaccord Crown Point Electoral District. It's your turn. The THA Executive Council is coming to meet with you as we continue our District Town Hall meeting series.
Canaan, Bonaccord and environs come out that we can know definitely what is happening in our community.
Make sure you all come out and air all your views.
We invite you to come out in your numbers at the Canaan Bonaccord Community Center on Tuesday, 26 September at 6:30 p.m. as the Executive Council members give updates on existing and upcoming programs and projects. You also get the opportunity to share your concerns and ask questions. So, join us from 6:30 p.m. on Tuesday, 26 September at the Canaan Bonaccord Community Center for the Executive Council's District Town Hall meeting. People of Bonaccord, including Bonaccord Development, Milford Court, Crown Point and Storbay Local Road. This meeting is for you. Remember, your voice matters.
The latest attraction in Tobago is a new skating rink opened at Big Dog Sports Bar, very near to this villa. Now, if I had a roller skate, I'd have said, let's skate into this next story, but you know what? Let's skate into this next story regardless. We hope you enjoy.
I think the initiative is a wonderful initiative. I'm catching my tail right now, but I'm catching back my bearings. You understand? So good vibes, trust me. The energy is great. You can see the ground, everybody outside. It's a great turnout. This is the first time.
I am enjoying it very much, like 100%.
I'm sure you can tell that they were having loads of fun at the newly built skating rink located at Big Dog Spa and Sporting Lounge, Bonaccord. The rink is the latest attraction to the greatest little island on the planet, and at its opening, excitement filled the air as the rink brought out the young and the young at heart for a fun-filled evening.
I didn't skate for the longest while. I'm extremely happy to hear that there is this opportunity, particularly for our young people, and it brings back my old times, and I'm really happy how much I still can do and practice, and I'm happy for everybody in Tobago that we have this opportunity here.
Tobago hardly has stuff doing, right? And this is an entertainment for the young people. Other than the beaches and stuff, you have somewhere where you could burn out a little energy, get a little exercise in. The experience it's thrilling, one, and I would advise anybody to come try your skills, see how good you could get. Don't expect it to just come out and be perfect at it, right? You might have some fall, you might have some good stance and stuff, but come out and enjoy yourself.
The rink will be open for use Fridays to Sundays from 5 p.m. to 10 p.m. Skates can be rented at $40 for sizes 6 and under and $50 for sizes 7 and over for a duration of 2 hours. There's a floating wheelchair at the Pigeon Point Heritage Park. Yes, you heard correctly, a floating wheelchair, and we'll tell you all about it in this story.
The pristine and calming waters at Pigeon Point make for an enjoyable sea bath and overall relaxing experience. But simply getting into the water can prove to be dreadful for the differently abled. Well, the staff at Pigeon Point Heritage Park is catering to their needs. Water wheels are a floating 3-wheeled beach buggy chair that allows special needs people easy access into the water.
When you bring your family member to the beach, The floating wheelchair that the Pigeon Point Energy Park they provided for you, it's more accessible. You could actually take him into the water. The chair is going to be the person is going to be lying in the chair floating.
In the past, the lifeguards used manpower to take physically challenged persons into the water. But this new piece of equipment makes the process less strenuous.
Times going by, we had some serious heavyweights that we have to use manpower to try to lift it out to the water, and it's been very, very hard. So the floating wheelchair, trust you me, it's a serious and it's more accommodating for us as well.
Don't worry, it's easy to get onto and the users will be securely strapped. Visitor Shan Ramkisun was pleased to know that the physically challenged are being catered to.
This is my first time visiting here, and I must say the facilities is amazing, and it's a great initiative by Pigeon Point Park to include that for the differently able persons, and I totally recommend it to any disabled persons or different able persons to come and enjoy the new facility here.
There is only one floating wheelchair at the Heritage Park, but there are plans to acquire another. It costs only $100 per half hour to use this new equipment. You can make reservations by calling 639-0601, or you can send an email to contact@pigeonpoint.tt. I'm Patricia Nicholson Richards for Let's Talk Tobago.
So in this next story, you're going to meet a young Tobagonian man. He's 22 years old. He's from Mount St. George, Tobago. His passions include journalism, crisis management, public speaking, youth activism, and many, 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 many more. He is Luke James Trim, and he has recently been appointed as the CARICOM Youth Ambassador from Tobago. Welcome to our set, Luke.
Thank you for having me, and we're chatting with Luke James Trim, CARICOM Youth Ambassador for the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago.
Right. Now, Luke, I remember you from your days at Hope Anglican Primary School. I was a reporter then, and you were the top male SEA student in Tobago. Yes. So you've always been destined for greatness. So I started with that, but can you tell our viewers a little about yourself?
Well, I've always been the type of person that's been passionate about becoming the best version of myself. And I also wanted to apply that level of care to young people here in Tobago. So like you said, I got involved in many, many, many things. And I always wanted to bring young people up with me, because I was always of the belief that while people always obsess about networking up the board, getting to know those at the top, I always love to network across the board so that the young people that look like me, the young people that are beside me, they can also achieve success.
Okay. And viewers, the CARICOM Youth Ambassador Program aims to deepen the levels of youth participation in regional integration and national development. Now, Luke, tell our viewers about the selection process to become a CARICOM Youth Ambassador for Trinidad and Tobago.
So the selection process was very, very vigorous. Even on the digital form, they asked for a lot. They really wanted to know you, because at the end of the day, you're now going to be representing young people on a regional, national, and international scale. So I sent in my digital application, and I most likely forgot about it. Then I got a call and they were telling me, okay, we want to have an interview with you at the Division of Community Development. Now, when I entered, it was a panel and they started asking the questions. And what I noted about the interview process is that they really tested your level of knowledge about the youth space. Someone would have probably thought they're going to come and ask you about what's CARICOM and all those stuff, but no, they wanted to see how in tune you were with the issues happening in the youth space here in Tobago, in Trinidad, and in the region. So yes, the interview process, it was it's something that really lets you know that you have to be in the know. If you want to represent people, you need to know what is going on, what is happening. And I enjoyed it, and I was shocked to find out that I was successful.
Okay, and why now?
Why now? That's an interesting question. People always ask why now, and I always say why not now? Because this is the opportunity where young people have to get active. This is the opportunity where we see so many youths being marginalized. We see all young boys, they are getting into crime, or young girls, they are dropping out of school because of teenage pregnancy or problems at home. I think too often we are realizing that young people are now becoming a statistic. There's this huge issue of youth tokenism here in Trinidad and Tobago, where young people, where it may seem that we have an opportunity, that we have a seat at the table, we aren't really building that meaningful connections with the older heads, and our voices are not really being heard. So from young, I've always been told, you know what, Luke, one of these days I'm not going to get you into trouble, you know, because I was always a rebel from small. I was always advocating for others. I was always standing up for those who couldn't stand up for themselves. So when I saw the opportunity that I can become a CARICOM Youth Ambassador, I said, okay, Luke, this is your opportunity to keep doing what you've been doing.
And you talked about advocating for others. You're currently a law student.
Yes,
you didn't tell
sir.
us that. Tell us about that journey so far.
Well, shockingly, I always wanted to be a doctor. From sixth form, it's always been doctor. You know, both my sisters are doctors. So my parents thought that, okay, let's get a third one. But I remember in sixth form, I got into the Tobago Day debates, and I debated. I would have advocated for those students at Scarborough Secondary School to have their school repaired. I would have also advocated that as young people that we are not just left on the wayside. I would have spoke about the issues of doctors having to be unemployed after their internship, and from that experience, I said, you know what, maybe I should get into something a bit more diplomatic. So then I started researching and realized that maybe a career flow would be for me. So after sixth form, I would have done my certificate in criminology at UWI Open Campus, and we had a mock trial competition where I had to act as a defense lawyer, where I defended another person that was marginalized in society, a Venezuelan. And from that case, when I won, I said, okay, look, this is for me. And from that, I said, I want to be a lawyer.
Okay. Were you involved in any youth groups before, or are you involved in any youth groups at the moment?
Well, I've been involved in the Youth Arm on Tobago updates. Currently at the Tobago Youth Council, I'm the project lead, where I get to work along some dynamic people like Janie Campbell. You know, she's the education officer, so we work hand in hand. Also, I am now the incoming vice president for international external affairs and partnerships in the Trinidad and Tobago Youth Ambassadors. So I've been involved. Also, when it comes to youth groups, I've always been the background character when it comes to these youth groups. Sometimes people will come to me for advice. Sometimes when they have an issue or a crisis that they need some advice, and I would help them. And I always like to encourage young people that, you know, visibility does not equate to success. I think there's this issue here in the Tobago space where our youth leaders, they will post the long captions on Facebook to make it seem like they're doing the work, when in actuality, not much is being done on their part. So I always encourage young people, don't be afraid to just fall back. Don't be afraid to go to war with the man or the woman in the mirror and try to unlock new levels within yourself, and let your success, let your work do the speaking for you.
Right. And as CARICOM Youth Ambassador for the term 2023 to 2025, do you have any projects in mind that you'd like to educate young people on?
Yes, I have projects I would like to educate people on. Me alongside my other ambassador, that's Ms. Samantha Rampusad. I think we will be focusing on climate change. Also, we would like to educate our young people about HIV and AIDS, and probably STIs also. Because I think in the Tobago space especially, getting an STI has been too normalized. You know, they just say, oh, well, I just take a pill for it and, you know, go back and fall back into the same destructive behavior that got them there in the first place. So climate change, HIV and AIDS, also continuing to represent those marginalized. I have some interesting work I like to do with migrant kids. I'm not going to talk too much about it, but you all will see, you all will be updated, and those are some of the projects we'll be executing.
Okay. Where do you think Luke will be in the next 5 years?
Well, I can't tell the future, but what I can tell you in the next 5 years, I see myself standing with those who are marginalized and just advocating for them. I see myself in the middle of protests. I see myself trying my best to reshape our laws in Trinidad and Tobago. I think we are supposed to be a pluralistic societies, but we still have many communities here who are still not being represented, especially in our legal system. So that would be my first work in 5 years. I hope that in the next 5 years, I can also be a mentor for the other CARICOM Youth Ambassadors, those who will succeed me, those who would like to get into diplomacy and advocating. That is where I see myself in 5 years.
Okay, and we've gotten to know the professional side of Luke James Strim. Tell us, what are your hobbies?
My hobbies, definitely going and hang out in the Crown Point area. You know, this is where I'm from. This is where my family originates. So sometimes you'll catch me on the beach. You'll catch me at Up Top. I love a good movie. So I love doing movie dates with my friends, because being this busy, sometimes I don't have all the time to really connect with them. So I use these mediums as opportunities to connect with my friends, to catch up with my friends and let them know, okay, this is what's happening. I also use them as opportunity to get to know my friends better. Of course, sometimes I'll be so busy, so much has happened in my friends' life. Sometimes I have to reintroduce myself and they have to reintroduce themselves to me. So I love a good time. I love living life. I love enjoying life. I love trying new things. So besides the professional side, that's what I like to do.
Okay. Well, thank you so much, Luke, for being here with
Thank you
us.
for having me.
On behalf of all of us at the Let's Talk Tobago team, we wish you all the best in all of your endeavors.
Thank you so much, Daria.
You're welcome. At this point, we have to take a break, but we'll be right back with more stories. Stay with us. Villa Orizia is a spacious, well-kept modern villa located in the highly coveted Bonacord development of Tobago. This stunning property boasts 4 large bedrooms, each with its own lavish ensuite bathroom, providing an unparalleled level of comfort and privacy for guests. The kitchen is fully equipped with appliances and everything you need to prepare delicious meals for your family and friends. The outdoor area of Villa Orizia is truly magnificent, featuring a sparkling swimming pool surrounded by comfortable lounges and a shaded terrace area. This is the perfect place to relax and soak up the sun or enjoy a refreshing dip in the pool. Overall, Villa Orizia is the ultimate vacation villa, offering the perfect combination of style, comfort, and privacy. Coming up next, we take you to a different side of healthcare. They certainly didn't wear scrubs or PPE. They were dressed in fancy East Indian and African-inspired outfits as the Tobago Regional Health Authority appreciated its hardworking staff. Take a look at this story from Amadara Mills.
More than 100 TRHA workers were awarded for their provision of exceptional quality care in our health sector. Celebrating our heritage, harnessing the power of our purpose was the theme. Staff members got recognition in areas such as leadership, pandemic superheroes, and long service.
We want to take a moment on behalf of the board to express our deep appreciation for the dedicated individuals who form the backbone of our health institution on the island of Tobago. These professionals, nurses, support staff, all of these people working as one unit come together to deliver in no small measure the healthcare for an entire island, an entire people.
I know the last couple of years have been very difficult. COVID reminded us that everything that we thought we knew was not necessarily true, and it could have been taken away just like that. But you were one of the few entities that did not have the luxury of being home and being afraid and staying away from it all. We asked you to run head first into the madness. And you did it. You did it. You did it. You did it. And for that, this island is eternally thankful.
I know so many of you have made your professions lifetime professions. So many of you, after hours, offer care, private care to citizens as well. And so many of you get creative in finding solutions for the medical problems we have on the island. As a small island, we depend on you to insulate us from the outside world. We depend on you to ensure that we keep healthy and safe. And so I hope that we find a way to get the rest of Tobago to listen to you all, me included.
TRHA's Staff Recognition and Quality Awards ceremony took place at the Show Park Complex. I'm Amadara Mills for Let's Talk Tobago.
Think food, think water, think life, think health. Guessed it yet? World Food Day 2023 is here, and the Show Park Food Hub was the place to be for the media launch. We have more from Patricia Nicholson Richards in this story.
the Charlottesville Heritage performers as they danced the cocoa at the World Food Day media launch.
As we herald the World Food Day activities in Tobago, we hope to better educate and empower persons interested and involved in food production. We intend to make the division and its myriad services more visible and accessible and strengthen partnerships for agriculture revitalization. Through our World Food Day activities, we will facilitate increased stakeholder engagement and provide promotion opportunities for food producers and processors.
The two-day exhibition is scheduled for 18th to 19th October, but there are a number of events leading up to the exhibitions and afterwards.
There will be a World Food Day spoken word and poetry competition for schools. There'll be the Blue Ribbon Livestock competition, of course. A new housing design competition for livestock, where farmers will be asked to submit designs for houses, and the houses should be innovative, including new technology and specifically designed for the tropical environment. We'll also have a woman and junior farmer livestock video essay competition, where farmers in those categories, 18 to 30-year-old or women farmers, describe the challenges that they've had in choosing livestock agriculture, how they overcame those challenges, and why they have the passion for livestock agriculture.
The calendar of events also includes the inaugural Tobago Lamb Festival, a farmers' green market to be held in Tobago East and West, a horticulture show, and a 4-H gardening competition. Deputy Chief Secretary Dr. Faith B. Israel wants Tobagonians to think about the resources we have and what we can produce with them.
For us to really be food secure, we need to rethink how we treat with food, how we treat with water, how we treat with the chemicals that are available to us, how we treat with the production, as in the agri-processing of the food, how we treat with all of that.
This year's World Food Day theme is Water is Life, Water is Food, Leave No One Behind. Mark your calendars and be sure to attend as many events as you can. I'm Patricia Nicholson-Richards for Let's Talk Tobago.
And that's how we end this week's edition of Let's Talk Tobago. Thank you so much for joining us as always. On behalf of all of us at the Department of Information, do have a safe, productive and a fantastic week. Remember to follow us on all of our social media handles, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter and TikTok. I'm Davia Chambers and we'll see you again next week.
when you're moving from place to place. Good morning, good morning, morning, good morning, morning.
Good morning, viewers, and welcome to the Tobago Updates Morning Show, coming to you here live from the Port Mall in Scarborough, Tobago. Yes, we're just at about 7 a.m. this morning, and we really want to welcome you and thank you for those of you choosing the Tobago Updates Morning Show. Again, as we continue to give God thanks for life, I am Julian Skeet. Yes, and I'm here solo this morning, but we certainly want to welcome each and every one of you, those of you connecting right here in Tobago with us, those across in Trinidad, those within the region and the world at large, connecting and saying, yes, it's good to get a taste of home each and every day, courtesy Tobago Updates. And, I certainly want to take the opportunity to indicate and to highlight rather, yes, we are still within that time. The budget presentation took place earlier this week on Monday by the finance minister, and the debate is due to continue, I should say, pick up following that presentation. The debate continues on Friday, and that's tomorrow. Looking forward to hearing the further inputs that will come, and certainly, the challenges by way of the opposition or concerns that will be raised, and then presentations from government ministers giving their support and providing a little more details into some of the announcements made by the finance minister. Of course, we continue our discussions within this week, speaking to the relevant persons, various sectors, as we touch on a budget presentation fiscal 2024. Let me also take the time out to say this morning, the weather on the outside, it's a little bit rainy here in Tobago. And most certainly we want to remind persons, in fact, you're hearing the thunder on the outside. We want to remind you, yes, if you have not left home as yet, it's a good opportunity, good timing to ensure that you walk with your umbrellas. It's going to be that kind of morning, possibly that kind of day within the circumstances. So ensure that you prepare yourselves accordingly, and our students and children heading off to school, similarly, let's ensure that they are prepared accordingly in terms of catering for the school day ahead. All right, viewers, at this point, we prepare to head on over to straight into our birthday shout-outs this morning. And we get started on the birthday lineup with my friend out there, Afia Giles Baines, wishing you a belated birthday and indeed continued blessings. Trust that you would have enjoyed the birthday celebrations, and that in fact you continue to enjoy as you celebrate this new year in terms of that journey of life. So indeed, happy birthday going out to you, Afia. We have on screen, that's my cousin there, Osei O'Connor. You would have also celebrated his birthday early on in this week. I want to wish you a happy birthday and continued blessings going out to you, Osei. Enjoy, cuz. A very lovely lady indeed, Camille Woods Phillips. And certainly I always make those interactions from time to time at the airport. Very kind, very willing to assist every step of the way, even when I'm dashing back on a first flight to head straight to studio. Certainly want to wish you a happy birthday to you, Camille Woods Phillips. And I trust that today you'll take a little time out to relax and enjoy the birthday celebrations to the fullest. Happy birthday going out to you. On screen, this is my aunt, Auntie Gwyneth. So birthday shout outs going out to Gwyneth O'Connor, and I know the entire family, all the children, my uncle certainly will ensure that you have an excellent birthday celebration as we continue to wish you God's blessings, Auntie Gwyneth. Birthday shout outs going out to Gwyneth O'Connor. And we have David Frank, yes, continuing to make us very proud here in Tobago, and in fact, I dare say Trinidad and Tobago, as a man known distinctly, just as his photo symbolized, known distinctly for the violin. We want to wish you a happy birthday and indeed continued blessings and going out to you, and we trust that you enjoy the birthday celebrations. Happy birthday, David Frank. And that's birthdays going out to all persons that are celebrating their birthday here, coming from the Tobago Updates family. Again, viewers, we want to say thank you so much. And at this point, we're prepared to head on into news in 90 seconds.
Thank you, Julian. I am Biana Brebner, and here is your news in 90 seconds for Thursday, 5th October 2023. Former THA Finance Secretary Joel Jack urges Tobago to revitalize development in light of its $2.58 billion allocation in the 2024 national budget. Jack highlighted concerns about Tobago's development compared to the national context and past governance. He urged a correction of course and emphasized significance of assessing this year's allocation compared to previous PNM administrations in Tobago, highlighting governance and development. Jack emphasized the national's budget role is shaping government strategy, including Tobago's economic development, and advocates for a policy-driven approach to get Tobago's development back on track. The Progressive Democratic Patriots leader Watson Duke called for a minimum wage increase to ensure workers receive at least $5,000 per month. Speaking at a press conference at the party's headquarters in Port Moore, Scarborough yesterday, Duke expressed disappointment in the recent budget announcement that raised the minimum wage by only $3, from $17.50 to $20.50 per hour. Duke, a former president of the Public Service Association, expected stronger opposition from his trade union colleagues and criticized the minimal increase, stating that it would result in monthly salary of approximately $3,600. He emphasized the need to raise workers' salary to at least $5,000 to combat economic challenges. And finally, the THA minority leader Kelvon Morris expressed satisfaction with Tobago's $2.58 billion allocation in the 2024 budget. He praised the absence of no new significant taxes and the preservation of the fuel regime. Morris also appreciated the government's focus on the poor, vulnerable, education, and crime. However, he raised concerns about whether the average Tobago citizen would benefit despite the administration receiving a significant increase of $64 million allocation. And that concludes your news in 90 seconds.
Thank you very much there, Biana. Certainly highlights continuing to give perspectives. We're hearing from the minority leader. We heard from a political leader of the Progressive Democratic Patriots in the news. They're giving their perspective in relation to the budget presentation that just took place earlier this week. And that takes us straight into our rundown this morning, folks. We get started this morning chatting with Assemblyman Watson Duke, who's also the political leader of the Progressive Democratic Patriots, to get his perspective on Budget 2024 in terms of that fiscal presentation for 2024, getting a closer look. And we will also be chatting this morning with Dexter Sandy. And Dexter Sandy is the interim president of the Tobago chapter, the Tobago October Carnival Association. And therefore, we look forward to those discussions as we speak about the band house that is set up at Shore Park Complex. And this morning, we wrap the conversation with Khadija Jeremiah, soca recording artist out of Babytown Studios. And this will be our Entertainment Central segment taking place this morning. So we look forward to this in the rundown as we prepare to head on in with our program. And at this point, viewers, we head on over to Tobago in Focus.
The Unemployment Relief Program is not the same one you knew many years ago. Program Coordinator Mr. Nairon Leung gives us insight into the diversification as well as different sectors that exist within the unit.
Well, the URP program, it's a fairly huge, one of the more, I would say, larger units within the THA, right? It is constructed of 6 units, and it falls directly under the Division of Infrastructure, Quarries, and Urban Development, right? The units that makes up the URP are the construction unit, the environmental unit, the Women for Women program, which they would provide janitorial support to over 35 schools in Tobago and other THA offices, right?
He stated, unbeknownst to many, the revenue-generating sectors of URP would have generated over $200,000 in the last World Food Day. These funds were generated over a record-breaking 2 days. Despite naysayers and negative commentary as it relates to URP, Mr. Leung has a vision and several projects to embark on.
The vision 2023 and going forward, right? Under the construction sector, the construction section within the URP, right? We are presently partnering with the Buku Moravian Church, right? They have meted out to the division for assistance in constructing a home for a physically incapacitated couple, right? Both cannot work and they are members of the church, and they have formed themselves into a organization whereby they would seek to bring some kind of relief to this couple, right?
The project, marked as their flagship project, is being met with passion and dedication. Materials will be provided while URP workers will provide the labor. The unit is also embarking on a latrine eradication program along the Division of Health, Wellness and Social Protection. Leung emphasizes one of the reasons for the URP program is to assist the most vulnerable, socially and economically challenged individuals within the community, and their plan is to make the unit financially sustainable.
Good morning, viewers. It is 7:09 a.m. and welcome back to the Tobago Updates morning show, coming to you here live from the Port Mall in Scarborough, Tobago. Viewers, as at this point, we prepare to head on into our first interview segment that will be coming up this morning. But just before we head on into that interview, interesting that we continue to see, as I was mentioning just before, the perspectives being shared. One wonders if there will ever be a time where we would hear someone, in terms of our major heads, our major leaders, etc., sitting in the various seats, indicating that, they have an overall satisfaction. Depending on where you sit, will you ever hear an opposing entity to the government indicating that I am satisfied? Is it likely that you will hear an opposing entity, someone who supports the government, saying that I am probably not satisfied and I had hoped for better? We look forward to hearing what the perspectives will continue to be, whether it will follow what might be that natural form in terms of responding to the budget. But to continue with this budget conversation, we have online with us Assemblyman Watson Duke, political leader of the Progressive Democratic Patriots. Good morning to you and welcome, Mr. Duke.
Good morning to you, sir, and good morning to Tobago, Trinidad, the wider world.
All right. So as we get the conversation started this morning, Mr. Duke, we would have had, we know that yesterday you spoke out giving your perspectives in relation to the minimum wage. We want to put some context to that because one would think, that based on your background and more than that now being involved in the politics, taking up it to another level beyond just the union work that you have done with distinction over the years, that you'd be happy for an increase. Is it a case of saying that it still isn't sufficient and you felt that the government could do better?
The government took too long with the meager increase, and it does not affect the lives of persons in a significant way. $3,600 per month could barely pay rent, could barely buy food, could barely take an individual to work. In 1996, studies were done on the cost of feeding an adult, and it was reported that it took then $1,600 to feed an adult. Today in 2023, how many years later, almost 20 years later, they are saying to us, $3,600 is the new minimum wage. Let's take a pin. Let's go further. You see, the old age pension is about $3,500. And you are saying a young and upcoming person who has to look after child, rent, and who is now trying to make life, he must contend with that which a retiree is given to maintain their medication and basic upkeep themselves. It is unfair, and one should take into consideration that the persons who are working for minimum age are not retirees, but young and upcoming people who are trying to make life. You ought to give them nothing less than $5,000 per month, or let's say about $29, $30 per hour.
Are you not concerned that an increase of that nature will certainly lead to further what one may consider passing on the cost and increased prices, putting us in probably just as stressful a situation, especially for the minimum wage workers? If such a drastic increase is to occur?
Not in a country where the government is controlled. In our country, the government has ceded control to the ruling class, to the money class, and therefore they pay homage to them all the time. In my view, in a country that is focused on people development, then you would put people first. You would ensure that a rising tide lifts all boats. And that is the hallmark of a growing and thriving economy. When ma and pa could improve, when your son and your daughter could improve their standard of living, we must ask ourselves this poignant question. Did the standard of living improve for Tobagonians over the last, let's say, 5 years or 2 years or 1 year? It has not improved. Persons have bought more cars. Persons have built more houses, but persons are more indebted. The basic standard of living has not improved, and the quality of life has not improved for Tobagonians.
All right. Are you particularly impressed or not at all with the fact that the government has also announced making the $1 billion available to treat with the issue of back pay? Some unions to date having accepted, but some are still on the line in terms of continued negotiation. I know I'm going in a bit to your background there in terms of labor, but tell us your perspective, even from where you sit at this point now as a politician.
The government is using figures as a drunken man is using a pole to steady themselves up. And they're saying to the nation, hey, look, this is costing us so much to give you an increase. That is not true. Those figures are manipulated and not correct and does not reflect the meager amount of workers that would have signed on to the 4%. It is not true. And I know it is not true. Total manipulation of figures by the finance minister.
Do you anticipate this will put pressure on some of the labor leaders in terms of their members, simply because there's that anticipation that if there's agreement for those unions that have not yet agreed, if there's agreement that persons will be in receipt of their monies by Christmas, as the minister would have announced?
Well, certainly Christmas is the time when persons want to do extra spending, extra fixing. And it would place some pressure upon those union leaders. My concern is whether those union leaders have an exit strategy that will take their workers to a higher and better level. Because if those union leaders were to wait until next 2-3 years and fight it out, and they receive nothing more, then they would be in trouble. If they wait and the government changes, and the government gives them no major increase, but about a 6% increase, they are still in trouble because the time value of money is real. $100 today is not the same as $100 6 months later. And the groceries will tell you that. So it's a kind of a catch-22 situation where there is pressure placed upon the unions to settle because workers want to eat their money now, they want to spend their money now, they want to develop themselves now. They don't want to wait. And the outcome in the future does not look hopeful. So I would say to the unions, you have to start creating your own storyline, your own philosophy, your own ideology. that will cause workers to see what you are seeing and to see the purpose of struggle in this fight. Otherwise, it will be a dark and dull day for them when they come and take the same 4% after without even putting up a fight or coming close to anything new.
Mr. Duke, let's dive into the Tobago perspective for a bit. We saw 2.585 being allocated billion. Your thoughts? What were your immediate thoughts?
The figure is insignificant. Whether they give us $10 million, it's insignificant. What's significant is what that money can do insofar as development. And secondly, more importantly than that, is how that money would be spent. I have made the point over and over again that the only way to argue for more money is to take the little you have and make the most out of it. And when you're doing that, you have to think about the economy. Development budget is given to develop the economy, whether it be infrastructure, agriculture, healthcare, whatever it is to develop the economy. And it's easy to tell when the economy is developed. People will see the transformation in their lives. As it is currently, all the money given to us as development budget in the last 2 years, about under my tenureship, right? I would say to you, have not been used to bolster our economy. They are making roads where there's no farming about to take place. I've drove through a nice development yesterday in Corland, and there are few houses going up. We have to get our economy going, and to do that, you have to put the money where it will be visible, where the changes would be felt. If you're building a road to nowhere and there is no housing to take place there, or there's no major development taking place there within a year, then you have wasted that development. Any development now must take place within a year, because that's what people are spending to see. Those developments occurring from the spending of the money within 1 year. We have to be careful as to how we spend money. Roads are nice, but where do they lead to? What new economy do they open up? And I'm saying to my colleagues, let us put the money where it makes the greatest amount of sense.
Budget is just about 260 out of the overall portion. We know that the greater portion of it goes towards recurrent expenditure. Where would you put that as priority, Mr. Duke, if you had sat in the chair and the responsibility of Chief Secretary at this point?
Well, the first thing I would have done is to review the recurrent budget and cut out wastage within the recurrent budget. Then I will put a lot of my people to work. I will create that user development budget, and I will therefore give to every single constituency, of which there are 15 in Tobago, that which we have promised, $10 million. Not just give them carte blanche, but to put it in a fund, in a vote, that they can access with clean and plans that has integrity and economic purpose. So we put the money back into the community. It's hard for communities to thrive when the economy of that community is basically dormant or non-existent. You have to revive domestic consumption within the community and have one community partner with the next. So those two things are important. Cut out wastage, put the money into the community. There's no need right now, when dollars are low, to go into major development projects with cost overruns. You simply want to develop the basic economy at the community level. See the woman with the forge and the kumar? Let's see if you can monetize that and start selling that at a larger scale. The person in the right fig and the buck, let's see if you can monetize that and have that selling at the larger scale. The person with the fish, let's see if you can catch more fish. Let's look at what the community is doing, what Tobagonians are doing, the business chamber. Let's see how we can assist them with greater storage facility. The small business, let's see how we can help their business grow. Let's put around them the kind of a galvanized support that they need to make the economy grow. Let's focus on the small, the medium person to move them to a larger community. And so I say we have to do it.
So the question is, how would you then respond to the issue of those who want to see some greater development factors to really define some of the promises made by this administration to be delivered within this term?
Well, one is that I intend to work with the executive. I'm not looking for hire, I'm not looking for any salary, but work by giving them this information. I will continue to be the flag bearer of the standard and say to them, this is what we promise people. We promise people that in every single constituency, and there are 15, we would build 20 houses per year. And those persons who will build those houses would be persons from the community. So you're putting your local, your community's skill bank to work. Let's do that. We promise to push and promote single women and single men. We intend to push and promote our tourism. Start teaching our children our sites of interest from kindergarten. Start promoting that. So everyone in Tobago is aware of what we have in Tobago. We intend to, we spoke about the study park quarry, having it up and running. Right now, there's a demand for aggregator all over the world. How are we capitalizing on that? We have untapped aggregating Tobago. All over Tobago is bluestone. All over in Tobago, we have bluestone. How are we tapping into that? How are we monetizing that? And I would say we need more aggression with the economy, because people could tell stupidness from sense. And they will know when the economy is doing better. They will feel it. They will dream it. They will see it. They will taste it. Let us build a better Tobago. That is my call to the executive. Like I say, I will stand there as a flag bearer. I will not, I will take it down, because I recognize that apparently they can't concentrate when you rebuke them. So I'm taking it down a bit and see how it goes. But I say to them, using this medium, they better take it down. Anytime they continue the foolishness that I've seen displayed over the months, listen to me, I will take it up a notch or two. And that will ensure that the eyes of Tobago will now focus upon them meticulously and in a critical way. So I'm going to let Tobago see the opportunities and also allow them to run with the opportunities. So right now, they have the opportunity to develop the small business and the medium business, and let's see how that will thrive in a domestic economy.
All right. Based on the development agenda that has also been set out, your thoughts in relation to the efforts that have to be made to seek to get a foreign direct investment into Tobago to really advance where we hope for things to go? Because it is clear to any, the development budget cannot and will not cover where we hope to see Tobago go, even as Tobagonians, when you put the politics aside in terms of party. Your thoughts with regards to foreign direct investment?
Right, but I had a conversation with the Chief Secretary only recently, and my thoughts to him was simply this. You cannot engage any foreign direct investor without stability. You need economic stability. They need to ensure that when they invest their money, the THA is stable enough to allow their money to develop and bring back returns to them. As it stands right now, the THA has been displaying instability, very fickle. And when you attack the prime minister of the country, that is a point of instability. You have to know how we're doing that, and it's best not the chief secretary do that. It should be someone else, and not the chief secretary. The chief secretary at all times should hold himself out, ready to meet with the business community, with the so-called think tanks of Tobago, with even the small business and the medium business of Tobago, and the average Jack and Jill. The chief secretary has to reposition himself into being not just a statesman, but a can-do-it man. He must show them that the smallest thing is important to him. And I think he can do it. I want to think he can do it. But he needs the right type of people behind him to push him.
Would you say, Mr. Duke, when a comment comes from someone like you, indicating that the approach has to be different, what would you say to the people that saying, well, Duke probably getting soft? Duke is a man that would have called out the Prime Minister and hit the Prime Minister hard in the past in order to ensure that matters are dealt with, and wasn't afraid to to say no matter which administration was there, to say it as it is in an effort to advance the cause of who you represented. What would you say to those that say that the current administration and the Chief Secretary is probably doing very much the same?
Well, you have to judge a man's character based on where he's performing or where he's doing work. All right? And if I'm in the trade union movement, then I have to give a particular character, particular mindset, a particular doggedness and rigidity. But when you are in a government, you have to be different. You have to be totally, totally different. And you have to be focused on the people. Because your mistakes could cause the people to suffer. The mistakes of leaders could cause a whole country to go into war and people to die innocent deaths. Therefore, it's very important that leaders, when they are leading an executive, not a position, in a position you're going to be aggressive, you're going to be rigid, you're going to be a particular type of way. But when you are leading an executive, you have to be very patient, you have to be wise, you have to be careful of the effects of your words. And so therefore, you will say less and do more.
All right. Well, certainly this is a different side of Watson Duke that we are being exposed
No, it has always
to here.
been Watson Duke. Always been Watson Duke when I'm operating on different levels. The world has come to know me as a trade unionist and as the minority leader.
Yes.
But the world has not yet seen Watson Duke as the leader of an executive, a governmental executive, so to speak.
All right. We just want to get your perspective as well, very quickly. Some of the major areas that were focused on by the government. What would you say was a definite standout for you? Was there anything at all you were impressed with at the national level in terms of the budget presentation?
Well, I was depressed, not impressed. I was depressed by the amount of money they would spend on agriculture. They want to spend some measly pittance of $400 million on agriculture. When they made a bridge crossing along Cipriani Labor College, that would cost $500,000, $500 million. They want to develop an entire national sector called agriculture. When people are talking food security, when people are talking about feeding themselves, etc., there's a crisis in the world for wheat and other food, etc. We are saying we are spending the least amount on food, when that's the most important thing for any living human being to eat. So again, I say again, there's a mixed match between their brains and their money. They're simply spending money where it matters less and spending no money where it matters most.
Your words of advice to the government as they prepare to head into the debate. What are you anticipating tomorrow as the debate continues with regards to this budget?
Well, there'll be fight again, more political fight, more political ping-pong, more saying that I would do it better, I would do this. But the truth is, when you are given an opportunity by the people of Trinidad and Tobago to do better, you have to do better. There can be no second chance. Do better and let us be the judge of that. A rising tide lifts all boats, and people will know when the economy is doing better.
All right. Thank you very much. We got to leave it there. But thank you very much, Assemblyman Watson Duke, political leader of the Progressive Democratic Patriots, for joining us here on the Tobago Updates morning show. At this point, viewers, we want to remind you that this is your opportunity to share the live, share the live, share the live.
Rotisserie, mouth-watering fries, salads, combos, and specials galore. Feeling for something to eat? Come and see. Our rotisserie is seasoned to the T. Kicking chicken, masala, and jerk roast. Crispy fries made from scratch. Who do you know can't beat that? Or salads freshly cut and packed. When you taste it, you'll be wanting to come back. So come check us out on number 2 Robinson Street, Uptown Scarborough, Tobago. We open on Saturday nights from 7:30 to 11:30 p.m. Monday to Thursday, we're open from 10 a.m. to 9:30 p.m. and on Friday, 10 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. Contact us at 772-7443 and all social media handles at The Rotisserie Factory.
Mount Pleasant Credit Union Back to School Loan Promotion. Loans up to 15,000. Requirements: job letter and a payslip no more than 1 month old. Utility bill, copy of
Hey, Choppy. My girl, you're sweet like pineapple, you're sweet like tangerine. And I have the sweetest piece of wine here for you. The way that you're giving the vibes, I just want you next to me. And I hear watching you all night, I love off your energy. All night, your waist moving. I see you know what you're doing. All night, your body talking. You think speaking my language. You have me like, oh Lord, oh. I'm feeling like I just won the lotto. You have me like, oh Lord, oh. You are the captain. Sail away. Watch my hands on your waist and I'm trying to navigate. Sail away. Anchor down, let me dive in, girl, don't make me wait. Sail away to the ends of the globe and right or wrong again. Sail away. Oh Lord, sink or float, I don't care what you do. Throw me overboard. I don't need no lifeguard, oh Lord. Rocking back and forth like a tidal wave. You are the captain. Throw me overboard. I don't need no lifeguard, oh Lord. Rocking back and forth like a tidal wave. Watch me now. Me say 1 stroke, 2 stroke, 3 stroke. You're feeling sweet like the calypso. Me say 1 stroke, 2 stroke. You're feeling sweet like the calypso. I'm thinking to myself where you come from. Who's send you over here, now I want some. Keep checking just to see when you're leaving. I keep blinking my eyes, I don't believe it. Yeah. And if you got a man,
take your time and ride on the bike. Take your time and ride on the bike. Take your time and ride on the bike and ride on the bike and ride on the bike. She's loving the ambience of my. Somebody call the ambulance for this chick. I just glong, I don't really quick. That's why she's loving me. Better when it's done, you might walk with a stick. Meanwhile, you bend down, let me see you boom flick. Let me beat it up just like. I know you're loving me. When coming to I like the plenty. Sit on my riding like a dead clean. Full of that need to empty. Take your time and ride on the bike. Take your time and ride on the bike and ride on the bike and ride on the bike. Ride on the bike, ride on the bike, ride on the bike, ride on the bike, ride on the 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 bike.
We are going on a new journey. Tobago now has its very own carnival. She like loud music and platinum touch. Yeah. Here we go. 2, 3. Yeah, yeah. I know your eyes in the morning sun. I feel you touch me in the pouring rain. And the moment that you wander from me, I wanna feel you in my arms again.
and you come to me on a summer breeze. Keep me warm in your love, then you're soft lady, and it's me. How deep is your love? It's your love. How deep is your love? I really need to learn, 'cause we live in a world of fools, yeah, breaking us down, yeah, when they all should let us be. We belong to you and me.
I believe in you.
Yeah.
You know the door to my very soul. You're the light in my deepest, darkest hour. You're my savior when I fall, and you may not think that I care for you when you know deep down inside I really do. You need to show how deep is your love. It's your love. How deep is your love?
I really mean to learn, 'cause we're living in a world of fools, breaking us down when they all should let us be. We belong. Break the music, come on, say it. How deep is your love?
How deep is your love? I really need to learn,
'Cause we're living in a world of fools, breaking us down, yeah, when they all should let us be. We belong. Come on, let's say it one more time. Y'all help us. How deep is your love?
how deep is your love? I really
Mean to learn, 'cause we're living in a world of fools, breaking us down when they all should let us be. We belong to you and me. One more time for Yeba.
It's a different type of thing down there. And we party till we drop down there. With a lot of pretty girls down there.